Okay, so Curtis Sliwa is probably not going to become the next mayor of New York City, but he is having this moment in American politics where he's sort of becoming a meme, and a lot of people almost see him as the mascot of New York. But at the same time, he's facing some really serious accusations from Cuomo, and the big question is he a scammer? There's a lot of legal ways candidates can make money off their own campaign, with one example being writing a book and then have the campaign or the PAC buy a bunch of copies to give out. And the most notable example of this is Ben Carson, who in 2016, the PAC actually purchased tens of thousands of copies from the book, and he personally made $1 to $6 million from it. Also, after the campaign, where the candidate is able to keep the email list and can actually monetize it, and the most notable example of that is Ron Paul, who's actually made millions of dollars selling gold and also homeschooling courses after his campaign ended in 2012. Then there's also what happens if a candidate loses the election and they have leftover campaign donations that weren't spent. They don't have to return those back to the donors, but instead can use the money to form a nonprofit or a PAC. And this happened with Senator Heidi Heitkamp, where after she lost re-election for the North Dakota Senate seat in 2018, she had $1.9 million left over, and she did put it towards a PAC. Now, legally, she was able to pay herself. She chose not to, but some people on her team were able to make money from that. Some candidates are actually able to legally pay themselves a salary for just being a candidate in the campaign, and this was a lot more common in the 2000s, where there were some candidates getting six-figure salaries, but that slowed down a lot with regulation. But one notable recent example was Andrew Yang, who paid himself $35,000 in 2016. The biggest way candidates make money is by hiring their own family to actually be part of the campaigns, with one really big example being Maxine Waters, who's hired her daughter to run a lot of her re-election campaigns, and her daughter has collectively made $1 million doing the campaigns. This takes us to Curtis Sliwa, who's now being accused of using the campaign to hire his wife and other family members as well as his friends and taking kickbacks from that. And this accusation against Curtis Sliwa just came from billionaire Bill Ackman, who is supporting Andrew Cuomo for mayor because he doesn't like Zohran Mamdani, and he's making the claim that Curtis Sliwa is taking advantage of the public matching funds, giving $8 for every $1 raised, and then he's just hiring a bunch of friends and family, and Curtis Sliwa is personally pocketing the money. And you know what? This is why I'm no longer going to vote for Andrew Cuomo. Accusations like this, because guess what? When Andrew Cuomo was governor, before he had to resign for being creepy to women, he was making $10 million off a book deal for how he handled the pandemic, and he was actually using his time as governor while he was getting paid to just write this book. You know why Andrew Cuomo lost to Zohran Mamdani so badly, where he started off with a 30-point lead against him but then ended up getting his ass kicked? It was because of this. All he ever did was focus on negative politics and personal attacks. He attacked Zohran's age, he attacked his family, he attacked his resume saying he lives off his mom. And you know what? At the same time, he never connected to anybody, he never talked about any bad policies Zohran has, and he just focused on personal attacks. So maybe Curtis Sliwa's wife is making a couple bucks here, working a job that they'd have to pay someone for anyway. Maybe that's happening. But you know what? I'm going to vote for him. I don't like Zohran. I was going to vote for Cuomo, but I'm sick of all the negativity. So at this point, I'm voting for Curtis Sliwa unless he drops out. And with that, this is Red, Blue, and You. I'm Charles Prawl. Please subscribe to learn something.